Hey guys, how's it going? It's Roland Mayhem coming to you with another video. Thought I'd go ahead and start with telling you that this project that I've been working on with the trackless train, it's kind of takes time. You got to get parts, you got to source parts, you got to figure out how you're going to build something like this, especially when you're building it from scratch. So I do have a part two, which is this obviously. And we are going to go into what's been done, what parts I've ordered, what parts I have, what I've 3D printed, what is yet to be 3D printed and 3D modeled, as well as the next steps going forward, and just kind of things of that nature. There has been a mess up with it. I totally did not. No, I totally did. Mess up the axle sizes, and it's kind of threw everything all wonky. So now I've got to go and probably redo the chassis again, but that's okay. Could be worse. So, all right, let's get right into it. All right, so as you can see, there's a light kind of sitting on the frame right now, but that's okay. So here's kind of what we got going on. I'm going to start off with the chassis because the last time that you guys saw this section here and that front section there were not connected yet. They are now connected. Unfortunately, they're going to have to get disconnected because I have to set these wheels and axles that I have underneath the actual rear subframe. So that way they'll actually connect properly and be able to sit on the ground. Because I did drill holes for them, as you could tell, but I was off by probably about 1/4 of an inch. And it caused the middle wheels to touch the ground, but the rear wheels would not touch the ground, so everything was kind of like off kilter by quite a bit. So that's something that I will have to deal with. And luckily, I have some of the stuff to do at least one of the axles. I have to take these bolts and nuts with me to go and get 4 more because I do have some more of these hangers, axle hangers. They're just they don't have the nuts and bolts, which is okay. We'll figure that out. But other than that, I mean, I could probably hang at least one of the axles, but when you change that dimension on the back, this front dimension is going to have to be changed. And I can't necessarily judge how tall it's going to be until I take this off, set everything up, and then just go ahead and do all that. So that's kind of what's going on with this currently. Is I've got to figure out the size difference between up here and back here when I put these wheels on back here. So that's kind of it. As you can tell, we did get an eBay shipment in today. So that's as far as that goes. Is I did get the eBay shipment with the order with the motors in. These are which it kind of works out for the light chassis remodels because I wasn't planning on going with these motors at all. I was actually going to be using scooter motors, and it just they weren't torquey enough, and these are torquey. They're not really made for high speed. They're more like 5 mile an hour, which is fine for now. I can live with that, and I got a pretty decent deal on both of them, less than $100. So I'm cool with that. I can make these work. As you can tell, I started mapping out one of the sprockets. This is from the when I was working on the motorized bicycle. I had one of these. I'm probably going to buy another one and do that for the other motor, and then use the larger tooth type sprocket that I have currently on the motorized bicycle for all 4 wheels and try to tie them all in together. We'll see how that works later. I've got to figure all that out. The nice thing about these motors, though, is, for one, they're locked in, which is nice, but I can probably remove this plate here and then just make a pattern into the wood and cut that out. And then what that'll do is that'll allow me to just bolt these in right there. So I can make that work. So this is you got a right and a left. We will see how this works out, and I'm gonna have to do quite a bit of wire work to make sure that all of this fits the way that I need it to. But other than that, no big deal. Moving on to some of the 3D printed and yet to be 3D printed parts, as well as some of the things that I had bought. This took a lot of filament and a lot of time to make. I got bored, so I went ahead and 3D modeled and printed the headlight that's going to go on the boiler. I have 3D printed these as well as the other plates as well. These here. And then this right here is obviously the bell, which works. But I'm going to 3D print the hanger for the bell, so that way it acts like an actual locomotive bell. Currently, the whole project has kind of hit a bit of a stall, and the reason being behind it is because there's just kind of a lot going on currently. The Jimmy has been sitting on blocks for a minute now, and I hurt my finger. It didn't help anything at all either, which I just barely got out of that splint. Something else that has been going on too is I've been trying to go through a bunch of stuff with personal issues, going through boxes and things like that I've been trying to get rid of over the past few months. Last 6 months I've been trying to go through stuff, and I'm still doing it, but so there's that. But as part of the reason kind of why the Locomotive's kind of hit a stall point, because I was working on this like almost every week, trying to find parts, ordering parts, and then getting them in and everything, and kind of some of the things left to be ordered. We got to look for a barrel. I've been looking at multiple different types of barrels, everything from a 55-gallon drum to them wood barrels that you can get at like Tractor Supply and things like that. I haven't found exactly what I'm looking for yet, so I'm leaning more towards a 55-gallon drum, similar to the Popular Mechanics locomotive, but not really sure yet. So we will see. The only other thing that I really need to focus on with this is going to be, the next thing is going to be the chain drive. It might be a couple months before I post another update video of the Locomotive. I'm still trying to work on it, still trying to make sure that everything's good on it, but currently this is the state that it's in. I do have a lot of the parts together. I do have the majority of it to make it run. And I have been thinking about salvaging some parts off the Mighty Casey, so that way we can at least test the motors out, make sure everything works properly. So there is that option. So that way we're not waiting on parts consistently. But anyway, I appreciate you guys watching the video. I know it's kind of a short one this go around. I know the video quality might not be all that great for this round, but it's what I could do in such a short amount of time. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.